Hey, everybody. Welcome into our Wednesday webinar. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Good topic today. Getting started with minimal budget with $2,000, $1,500, whatever it is. Getting started with minimal budget, making $100,000 2025 with a minimal budget. Big topic, I think, being efficient with your marketing. All that stuff is really important, obviously. But welcome in, guys. If you don't mind in the chat, let me know where you are located in the chat. Again, appreciate you guys joining us. We will get started here in a few minutes. Hopefully Dan should be up here. Welcome. Yvette, Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia, Walter. Awesome. Put a question up for today. Let me get something up here. Muskegon, St. Louis, California, Seattle, Cali, Florida, New York. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining me or us this evening. Hope Dan should be up here soon. Charlotte, California, all over the place. Love it. Tampa. Phoenix. Cam, what's up? Yeah, we'll get started here in a few minutes. Today we're talking about getting started in this business. Maybe your goals are some big goals, 2025, whatever it is. Getting started in this business with $2,000, $1,500, whatever it is. Getting started with a minimal budget. Charlotte, another Charlotte. Charlotte's growing. I love that city. If you guys have any questions while we're waiting, I'm just waiting for people to trickle in here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. More than happy to answer any questions. Austin, Texas, go Horns. There you go. Football team's looking good. Oops. Question of the day. What is the biggest hurdle to getting started in land flipping? Curious to see your guys' thoughts. If you aren't in land flipping, or if you are in land flipping, you've already been in this business. What is the biggest hurdle to getting started in land flipping? Curious to see your guys' thoughts on that. For those of you who are in land flipping, maybe looking to get into land flipping, what's the biggest hurdle to get into land flipping? I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are after I get some answers from you guys. Again, appreciate you guys being in here today. Hopefully you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. What's the lowest minimum you can start flipping land with? Knowing what to look for. I'll get to those questions. Jermaine, get to that question. I know Mark's got a question up here. What is due diligence? Okay, cool. Can you wholesale on the market with a realtor? Selecting the right marketing money. Can you do land just like you can put a house on contract? Let me save these questions. I'm going to get to these questions here. Big Dallas, Texas in the house. What's up, Edgar? Daniel should be joining us. If not, I'll take care of it. But yeah, I mean, getting started in this business. So what I always say, whenever you're getting started with a lower budget, there's going to be more time intensity. Like you're going to need to put more time into it. There's three main marketing strategies we talk about. We talk a lot about direct mail. So you're sending mailers. Mail is expensive. Like that is, I'm not shy about saying mail is a very, very expensive acquisition method. It costs 60 cents, 62 cents per mailer. You get a deal every 2,500 mailers. Like it costs $1,500 to get a deal. But that being said, mail is the least time intensive because how much it weeds out. But we'll get into the other strategies as well. Before I get started, guys, I put a link in the description below. If you guys are interested in our Black Friday deal, we're letting 50 people in. That is in the description below. But let's get rolling here, guys. Texting or mailers to start. Let me go over these questions real fast. We got a lot of questions here coming in. What conditions should land be in? Generate enough targeted leads. How to price land correctly. Fear of spending money on marketing, which might not give returns. That's very big, Rob. All right, cool. Let's get over some of these questions before I get rolling here. What's the lowest minimum you can start flipping land with? The thing about it, there's like two theories. Like if you're trying to get in and you want to learn exactly how to do things, and you want some education behind it, that's going to cost some money. But as far as like the business, I've done YouTube lives where it's like, let's get started with $100. If you're starting to cold call on the phone, you want to pick up the phone, start dialing, start doing that kind of stuff. You can do it with a very, very low budget. It's going to be more time intensive. You're going to have to be comfortable being on the phone, making phone calls, everything like that. But with cold calling, with the way that is, you can get started with that with $100, with $200. All you need with that is essentially money to buy the list, the property records, everything. You could even go to a county and get for free, and then just start dialing from your cell phone and do it for a couple, like very, very cheap. And then you get into more expensive methods. But I mean, if you're trying to get into this business in 2025, having $1,000, $1,500 is a really solid place to start. For sure. Good question there, Jermaine. Do you prefer on a contract or one page or several pages? Again, we do what we like to do. We like to do several pages. We like to do 2 pages. First page is kind of what we do on our offer. And then the second page is contract. Whenever I send direct mail out, I want a contract in the mail with them. So I'm sending a letter. First page is like, I'm Ron. This is what I do. I buy land in X market. Second page is, okay, I'm interested in buying your 5 acres for X dollars. We do what's called blind offers when we send direct mail. So we're actually making an offer price. We're making an offer, an actual dollar amount offer when we send that out. I like 2 pages. That's what we've got the best results on. We've sent, I don't know. We might be close to 1 million letters we've sent in our business's history. And that's what we've done some 1-page stuff, but the results haven't been the same. What is the due diligence one must do on a property? That's a really, really, really good question. TTG. So there's like 2 aspects of due diligence when you're doing due diligence on a piece of land. The first thing is like computer due diligence, I like to call it. And that's when you're looking at the land on a map. You're looking at it and looking if it's in wetlands, if it's in a floodplain, if the slope, does it have road access? And then after you do all that like computer due diligence, you're going to actually call the county. You're going to make sure the deed's good. And those are what I call like the legal aspect of due diligence. Usually takes about a day. We can get all that done in a day. It's not like a full day's work or anything, but that's essentially what it is. That's how it's different from houses or wetlands, floodplain. All those things are very important. Slope, because it's not already built on. You want to make sure someone can end up building on the land. Can you wholesale on the market with a realtor? So what Anthony's asking essentially is, can you get a property under contract, then use a realtor? It's different. Some markets are really, really cracking down on wholesaling like that, where you cannot just get a property under contract, then list with a realtor. They're getting very, very strict, where to list on the MLS, you're going to need to be the person on the deed. There are some areas where you can do it for sure. You want to get legal documentation from the seller that you're able to do what you're doing. It's not like it was 5 years ago, because the reason wholesaling is going away is because there's a lot of dirty wholesalers out there who just look for any seller to get under contract with, and then they're leaving the seller hanging. They're not doing things the ethical way. And that's why so many jurisdictions are cracking down on wholesaling, because the sellers are the ones that just are getting they're going under contract over and over again with these people, and no one's actually getting them money, because some wholesalers aren't doing it ethically, and it's not the right way to do business. And that's why it's getting cracked down on in so many areas. Can you do land just like you can put a house on contract? Yeah, I mean, it's not that much different. The same laws are the same. We like to buy and flip. So what we do a lot of times is we actually buy and flip our properties. We buy it outright with a funder, with capital partners. So you actually have more control. The nice thing when you get so if you have a piece of property that our average buy price is $20,000, our average sell is anywhere $40,000 to $50,000. Our margin is anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. Typically, we do a lot bigger deals. We do some smaller deals, but in our community, the average deal is buy for $20,000, sell for $40,000 to $50,000. So that being said, you get a property under contract for $20,000. Yeah, you can try to get it and double close it or wholesale it or something like that. But you have so much more control of the property when you actually buy it and put it on the market. So you get a funding partner. We have a ton of funding investors within our community who fund deals like that all the time. Can you get it under contract like you're asking, Cam? Absolutely. But I really like to flip it. Texting or mailers to start? Brian, this is what we're going to get into a lot of this today in terms of texting or mailers, because it is dependent. Like I said, there's pros and cons to all of them. It matters your budget. Tell me your situation, Brian. I'd love to break it down and kind of see what makes sense for you, though. How much time? Okay, just reading through. Who's still texting? Anyone use RA reply? Jeff, we use. I know you've been in the community. I feel like I've seen your name a lot, Jeff. Anyone use RA? We use Launch Control for our texting. It does depend. There are other softwares. Launch Control. What I like about Launch Control is they are so legal compliant. They're not going to let you do things illegally. They're built by lawyers. What's the best way to work with realtors with on-market land to make it a win for everyone involved? So if you're trying to buy, it's difficult because when a realtor signs, so you're reaching out to a seller, you're talking to a realtor or something like that. The realtor signs a contract with that seller, basically saying they have the seller's best interest in mind. For you to, it just gets weird when you try to not go around the seller's back, but as far as like when the realtors get involved, it can get a little odd. What I like to do with on-market land, the deals we buy on the market generally are subdivided. So it's properties with a ton of road frontage where we can pay really close to what they're asking. And then we cut it up once we buy the property, and then we still make money or double our money. Dana asks, would a budget of $6,000 to $7,000 be enough to get a few deals via cold texting? I love that. If you haven't listened to, Roy was on the podcast. Roy Cantu was on the podcast. I don't know, last week or something. Look back on the channel, guys, if you haven't. Roy has transitioned from direct mail. He did a combination of direct mail and texting, and then he just went all in, 20,000 cold texts a month. He's doing amazing with it. Texting isn't that expensive of a platform. All right, let's go with Brian's situation, guys. This is good for everyone. Current situation. Just joined our program, Land Investing Online. First batch of mailers were sent out. Going to do follow-up text Starting Money. Listen to recent podcasts with Roy. Like his approach and lower overhead. 100%. Yes, there are multiple ways to do the business. And Roy, the way Roy went into the business, or he's transitioned to the business, is lower overhead. You got to get your operations down, Brian. Like that's the number one thing. When you guys, texting is that's what we're going to talk a lot about today. Texting is a very, very cost-effective way to get into this business where you're not going to be, where you're going to get leads that you can reach a lot of people, but it can be a time suck if your operations are not down or are not down pat. It measures time. Tell me your time situation too, Brian. That's the only thing we're missing. Alex said he's from California, but if I look for other states, can you guys help with the funding in these states? Absolutely. Funding in California is not too fun because the whole tax situation that we have to deal with, or that just is in California as a whole. I love doing deals outside of California, to be honest with you. It's all about the deal, honestly. It's all about the deal. Hold on one second. Let me get this up. Stop sharing for a second. I'll go over this here in a second. So let me just get this up real fast, guys. So again, if you guys are not a current Land Investing Online member, we have a Black Friday bundle that's coming out on Friday. You guys have probably received text from us. Maybe, I don't know. You probably have. If you guys are not a current Land Investing Online member, that Black Friday bundle is going to sell up pretty fast. It's coming out 10 a.m. This is legitimately like $4,000 or $5,000 of value in there. If you're trying to get started in 2025, this is the place, this is the time to get started, even if you might not start the actual business for a couple months. As far as like the value in this deal, we really packed it quite a bit. All right, let me share my screen here, guys. Let me get back through these questions. Finger twist Polaris. Brian, let me know also time situation. That's the last thing I want to know about you. What are your thoughts on InfoLot's lot part of the business? So what Mark is asking about, and I'm on the land portal right now. It's good software as far as for land investing. So InfoLots. Info lots are like neighborhood lots, essentially. What we like to do. So if you go, let me go to a more normal area. So if we go to Atlanta, Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, you're going to have a lot of what are called info lots. Outside of Atlanta, Georgia, you start going in these rural areas. That's when you can find 3, 5, 10, 20 acres of land and flip it and make really, really good money. You can do subdivides, stuff like that. So info lots, it's just a different business model, Mark. A lot of people wholesale info lots. There's a little more competition, in my opinion, in info lots. There's a lot of different strategies. Like, can you use our strategy for info lots? Absolutely. It just depends, to be 100% honest with you. But I do, people make really good money in info lots. I don't try to knock any other business, but as far as like the ceiling for what you can do with rural land, bigger acreage land, like you can do $100,000-$200,000 deals. You're just not going to have that profit margin in an info lot typically. Okay. So real fast, guys, I want to break down kind of the business model as a whole. So we're talking about getting started, $2,000, whatever it is. Let me just go to new slide and let's go here. Let's just break it down a little bit. So budget. So my favorite thing is getting started in texting. So what you have with texting is essentially you get 10,000 leads for $500 a month. Okay. So it just takes 5,000. Roy, who we just talked about, Roy is getting a deal for every, and this can get you 10,000 texts a month. This can get you 10,000 texts. And this is with Launch Control. I'm going to talk about Launch Control because that's the software that we recommend. That's the software I've vetted the most. But as far as texting, this 10,000 text should get you a deal. So this is $500 a month for this. And then you also need your property records. So we talked about, let's just say we're talking about 10,000 again. 10,000 property records. Let's just go here. I'm going to fix this up a little bit. So 10,000 text. And this is $500. All right. Then you need property records for these 10,000 texts. Do you need to do all 10,000? Absolutely not. This is going to be anywhere from $300 to $500 typically. So $300 to $500. And essentially you now have, and you actually need probably $500 property records plus skip tracing. And we use the land portal for all of this. So the site, I was just on the land portal. That's what we use for all this stuff other than texting as far as the property records and skip tracing. So $300 here, you're in $800. You're going to be sending texts. It's going to be time consuming as far as that. The $2,000 budget I was talking about, like that is fitting in education, honestly. Like in my view, if you can get $1,000 education and learn how to do this the right way, and then put $1,000 into marketing, you are going to get a deal. And that's how you're going to turn that $2,000 you started with into 20,000 the first month, 30,000, 50, and then eventually be up to 100. And you're going to have, the way it works is you'll have marketing money behind you once you get that first deal. The race is to get to that first deal. How can you get to that first deal? Texting is a great way to start. And that's what's going to get you $1,000 and you're going to get 10,000 leads essentially. Like I said, people who are cold texting, so you're sending text messages out in bulk, are getting a deal for about every 4,000 or 5,000 cold texts, they're getting deals. So let's just choose a county here and kind of walk through what this looks like. So you go vacant lots. Let's just go, I use Adams County, Ohio a lot. So again, I'm on the land portal here. I don't think there's a link in the description, but you guys can, thelandportal.com/subscriptions will get you that. Let's go Adams County, Ohio. When you're trying to be efficient, when you're first starting, one thing you want to do, I don't want to say don't, but if you have a minimal budget, let's go for acreage ranges. Let's try to flip land in acreage ranges. that are a little smaller. Let's not go for 100-acre properties. I'm not saying you can't, but when you're first starting, we want to get you to that first deal. How are we going to get you that first deal? Let's not go for 100 acres. Let's keep it kind of small in terms of this. So let's go Adams County, Ohio, and we're going to go 3 to 12 acres. And I'm going to see what this gives us. And then when we scroll down here on the land portal, there's some really important things. Can you guys see? Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. All right, cool. I go one more out. So when we, so now you have, let me scroll down. So out of county owner, I'm not going to do anything with that. Out of state owner, I'm not going to do anything with that. But then you have this landlocked area. Like, do you want properties that do not have road access? No, we don't want that. So do we want our properties to be landlocked? No. Get to that in a second, Drew. Okay. We have road frontage here. So let's say you didn't want properties under 500 feet of road frontage. You could do that here. I'm not telling you to do that. It's a good question, Lee. I can break that down. We have, actually, I'll go through that in a second, Lee. Let me mark these questions so I make sure I get back to them. Really good questions, though, guys. Again, if you guys are interested, Black Friday bundle is in the description below. So the next thing, so our goal is getting the best land leads. We're going to text all these leads. We want to get the best quality land for this. So we don't want landlocked properties. We want properties with road frontage. And if I hit landlocked here, you'll see the type of properties we get. So let's go here and we're doing landlocked, show on map. Now these are going to be all properties without road access. So they're going to be properties behind. You see how this property isn't on the road? This doesn't have road access. That's what we want to get rid of. Properties just like this, we do not want to mess with these properties right now when we're trying to be efficient, when we have a minimal starting budget. So landlocked, no, we want it to have road access. And then let's go road frontage. Let's just do minimum 200 feet of road frontage, nothing crazy. So we're just doing, it has a couple hundred feet. It doesn't just have 10 feet of road frontage. We're going to say it has 200 feet of road frontage. FEMA percentage. So what this is doing, this is FEMA floodplain. What this is doing, let's not get properties with like, let's go 0 to 70%. So I don't want anything over 70% in floodplain, and same thing with wetlands, 0 to 70%. And I'm going to hit apply. Again, this is only 3 to 12 acres. This is giving us 1,000 leads. So what you can do from here, and you could do, I could expand the acreage, anything like that. Let's just look on the map real fast, the quality of the land we're going to get. That is the biggest thing. We want quality land. What we are adding to the land portal here soon, you'll be able to filter out sloped properties as well. So if you don't want properties in some areas of the country, half the properties are on extreme unbuildable slopes. So you'll be able to get rid of those properties as well. Right now, that's not on here, and that's just going to give you a way to get rid of bad land even more. Okay. So we have 934 records. Again, they have 200 feet of road frontage. You can see these are going to all have good road frontage. They're not landlocked. They're not more than 70% wetlands or floodplain. And what you can do from here is export the list. And this is going to be different on different accounts. You can see this is only $56, but you can also skip trace this if you want, which is going to give you phone numbers as well. It's going to be discounted. So we're going to get 1,000 leads here for $140. And like that is, I mean, you can get a deal from this. This is an extremely targeted list. You hit place order and it's going to render this. This might take a little bit because it's skip tracing. If you don't skip trace, it's going to give you everything immediately. Let me see what this looks like over here real fast. Let's see if I have my launch control thing as well. Give me a second. I'll get to your questions too. I know there's a lot of questions in there, guys. If I miss questions at the end, just ping me again. I'll get to it. Give me a second though. I want to. Make sure I get this for you guys. So you can see the order has been completed. It does take some time for it to skip trace as far as the skip tracing part. But I want to get launch control up, the texting software up. I just got to find my account real fast. Give me a second. Here it is. Got it. No, maybe not. All right, cool. So now we have these leads here, and that's when you'll use a texting platform. You use cold call, whatever your strategy is. But let's go to our leads real fast. Where is it? Order history. You can expand this on here. We can see a little better. All right, order history. You can see it is processing right now. So you can see the percent processing. Let me see if we can do anything. So we won't, what it's going to do, it's going to combine the list. So you're going to have the list of, property records plus the phone numbers at the end. Now, what you're doing from there, guys, you want to buy properties for 50% of market value. So your goal when you're doing this is you're going to go on Zillow, and when you're sending these texts out, you want to have a price in the back of your head as far as like what you can offer in Adams County, Ohio. So let's say we are targeting 5-acre properties in Adams County, Ohio. You want to, let's just find out what 5 acres is worth real fast. Let's go to, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go 2 to 10 acres on Zillow. My goal with what I'm doing right here is finding out market value for 5 acres. You can see 6 for sale for 54. I want to go sold though. Let's find some sold comps and see if we can figure out what market value is. Here's 4 for 54. Here's 5 for 50. And you can see the wide variance just in these two. This is 4 for less than 5. And the reason for this is just the quality of the land. You go into these properties. We're not trying to find exactly, but I see 2 comps that are about 5 for $50,000. So our goal when we're reaching out to the sellers with 5-acre properties is we're trying to buy these properties for $25,000, $30,000. If you can get sellers, we now have a list of 1,000 property records from 3 to 12 acres. If you can get these sellers to agree to sell for 50% of market value, you're going to be able to get funding. And where you go from there, I'll answer that in a second about the CRM, Andrew. Thank you. Where you go from there is you get properties that are good under contract. We have a lot of certified investors who are vetted from us. And what you do from there, like you get good deals, you fill out this on landinvestingonline.com/deal funding, and they'll get back to you. Like if you can get properties for 50% of market value, you are going to get funding all the time. So many people come into this business and they wonder like, how am I going to buy the deal? You do not have to worry about buying the deal. You need to worry about how do I find good deals? That is the number one thing with this business model. Let me get to some questions here real fast, guys. I'm going to turn off my share screen, open it back up if you guys have stuff. Yeah, so launch control as far as regulation. So let me go through that because I know there's a question. All right. I guess I can ask AI, but do you know if I can sell land then write the loan on it? So you can do like seller financing. I don't know if that's exactly what you're asking for or asking about. Oh, I see what you're saying. That would be, you'd have to ask a lawyer about that I see what you're saying now. You're a loan officer. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if there's a conflict of interest. I'm not sure on that side of things. So going back to Brian said he's working this business with a partner. I'm a full-time realtor. Partner works with the W-2. We both try to spend 2 to 3 hours per day. If you want to be low overhead, Brian, I love the texting option. I really do. Roy is a really good example. Are you a coaching student, Brian, or are you just boot camp? It's a good question, Steven. I like this. I don't shy away from these questions. Just curious, why do you guys do the training when you're successful land guys already? Why the extra work and stuff? What we've done since we've started, so our land business, our own land business has evolved quite a bit. And I don't suggest people who are getting into this business to do the exact same thing we're doing. We are doing what we do in our land business right now is $100,000 plus deals essentially. So when you guys, we're doing subdivides. We're doing a lot of different stuff. Do we do some smaller flips? Absolutely. But our target right now is bigger deals. We're adding stuff like that. We have a lot of that stuff in the education. But as far as like, why do we do it? It just help, honestly. Like it might sound I don't know how it sounds, but as far as that, like being able to help people, if you guys haven't listened to our success story podcast that we did yesterday, like it's cool seeing people quit their jobs from this. Like I genuinely enjoy it. That's why I'm on this. That's why I'm live on YouTube a day before Thanksgiving. It's because I enjoy this stuff, enjoy helping people, enjoy seeing people quit their job, enjoy seeing people reach financial freedom, that kind of stuff. Like it really does drive me with this. And there's so much land out there. Everyone in this YouTube live, 93 people that at least it's showing me that are in this YouTube live can make $100,000 flipping land next year. There's so much opportunity out there. It's not like something you can't share, in my opinion. Good question though. Does your CRM come with the Friday sale? Yes. So let me go through that real fast. I'll share my screen so we can go through that because a lot of questions are coming in about the. Let me see. Okay. So the Friday bundle, like I said, this is for the first 50 people. Like this does sell out really, really fast. I don't want to like it just does because how much stuff we pack in. Like we don't really have a package like this, not on Black Friday. You get the boot camp, you get 2,000 done for you blind offers priced. This is about $1,200 right there. CRM is included in this. The CRM is not a monthly charge. Like that's not from us. We built the CRM on Airtable. I never really get complaints about CRM. You'll get a one-on-one onboarding call. On the land portal, which I just showed you guys, we're on the land portal. You're going to get 500 free property records and 500 free skip traces. So you're going to have really reduced first leads. There's a chance you could get your first deal just from these 500 free property records and skip traces. If you guys are not on the wait list, make sure you join. And that is going to come out November 29th, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I don't want to talk too much about that, but if you guys have any other questions regarding that, please let me know. What's the legality of cold texting? Let me go actually through this first. Yeah. So like I just talked about, Drew, like our business, our business has adjusted. Like there was a time when we were sending 30, 40,000, blind offers a month. We're really targeting big properties right now, subdivides. And that's like I showed you on the land portal right there. You can target by road frontage. So what we like to do a lot is targeting our road frontage, looking for subdivides, and then looking for 100 acres with 3,000 feet of road frontage and then subdivide. So that's been part of our strategy recently, is a little more sniper approach. That's what a lot of people are doing as well, which has been really successful. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, it's not even quantity, honestly, Drew. Going back into that, it's not really quantity. It's more just the type of deals we're looking for. We're closing on I think we bought it for 450 and sell it for, I don't know, 800, 900. We're closing on a pretty big deal here soon. Like these big deals, they're out there. If you can find capital partners with them, like there's a lot of opportunity there for sure. What's the legality of cold texting? So like I said, Launch Control, the software we use is built by litigators. Essentially, they are extremely legal compliant. One thing with cold texting is if you send 10,000 text messages, which some of these platforms will allow you to do, you send 10,000 text messages out, you are going to get banned. You're not going to get banned from the software. The carrier is going to block your number. So what Launch Control does a really good job of is spreading out your text. So you're only able to send a few hundred or something every few hours where you have time to respond. What happens is you're allowed to send these texts if you can give one-on-one responses, essentially. So if you send, hey, I'm interested in buying your land in X county, do you have time to chat, or do you have any interest? If you send that to 20, 30 people, you can have very one-on-one conversations with them via text. If you send it to 5,000 people at once, it's not realistic. And that's when you're going to get flagged from the carrier. You're going to get flagged from the carrier, and that's when you're going to get banned from these carriers, or blocked. It's going to marked as spam, all this different stuff. If you can respond to these people and you don't override the system, which you can't on Launch Control, that's kind of the legalities of it, though. I have in our course, if you're a member, in our course, I actually did a webinar with Launch Control that I put in there, and they talk probably a lot more educated on it than I am right now. What the AppKey brothers teach Launch Control, and here's the regulations. Absolutely. I'm sending 10,000 text messages without a team or CRM. What is a manageable amount for a beginner to send out per week? And sending 10,000 text messages. I'm sorry, I think you said I'm. Yeah, I mean, it matters your time. Like, so Roy, who we just had on the podcast, he's doing it all by himself. It's a good question, Devin. Give me a minute. Roy's doing it all by himself. He's sending 20,000 text messages, excuse me, per month. He said he works from like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. He doesn't have a W-2. He's a full-time land investor. He was couch flipping before he is a land flipper, which is awesome. It's really cool to see how much he's grown. He's been in the business for 12 months, extremely low overhead, like we talked about earlier. And I think he probably profited $180,000, $190,000 in his first 12 months of land flipping. And he is 100% texting now. So, I mean, he's doing 10,000 with 2 to 3 hours a day. Or 20,000 with 2 to 3 hours a day. As you do this, Mike, as you send bulk texts, like if you don't have a CRM or some way to manage your leads, it's going to cost you money because you're going to lose deals and you're going to lose track of things because it is going to, at some point, you're going to just like lose track of something that was a potential deal. The biggest way to lose money is by losing track of a good deal. Does the Friday sale include Discord? Yes, you'll get the VIP Discord with the Friday sale. And that VIP Discord, 3 weekly member only calls, deal reviews, everything like that. Steven said, hold on one second. Let me go to that in a second, Devin. Thank you. I like you guys. Was just curious. I'm buying land in Florida, but sick of small properties. Looking to do large. Yeah, Florida's a very common. If you have the knowledge, like if you've done info lots successfully, especially, we have a ton of people who transition from info lots to our business model. So definitely look into it. You can start going from $5,000 profit. I don't know what your profit looks like, $5,000 to $25,000. It makes a big difference. All right, Devin, amazing member Devin. Ron, what's your outlook in 2025 in regards to speed for dispoing land? Are you optimistic that days on market will be good for us in the new year? I do. I think 2024 is kind of crazy. I think interest rates will go down a little bit, which will help. I've already felt it. We have so many pieces of property on the market. We probably have 30 pieces of land that we're selling right now. We've already felt it in the last 3-4 weeks. Around the holidays, it's going to slow down for sure. But I think February, March, April, the market is going to really, really start turning for the better. It is not going to be a slower. The days on market are going to decrease in 2025. I don't know exactly how extreme it will be, but it's going to be shorter for sure. Days on market. I have no doubt. Coach, shoot me a message in Discord if you don't mind, if you're interested in coaching. Mark. Key is legality for which states allow cold. I'm not aware of any states. You do want to make sure do not call stuff, and that's what we cross check on the land portal for do not call, everything like that. Same thing like that. The DNC list. That's what we cross check all that on the land portal when we're skip tracing. What coaching program do you offer and how much is it? So we do have one-on-one coaching as well, but as far as like our education program, this is teaching you how to land flip. This is teaching you how to buy a property for 20,000, sell it for 40, scale up your business, everything like that. It's $995. We have a Black Friday release coming out on Friday. First 50 people. The CRM is included in the Black Friday sale. Yes, Jeff. Did you talk to one of our my associates today, Jeff Bosmans? Someone was. I heard your name. I feel like coming up, Alex. So if you saw, I don't know if you saw earlier, landinvestingonline.com/deal funding, we have a group of land investors who are certified land investors with us. And what happens when you shoot a deal out for deal funding with us, it's going to shoot to all 15, 20 of them. Depends how many we have right now. I think it's around 16 of the certified investors. It's going to shoot the deal. And then you're going to have incoming investors that are going to reach out to you if you have a good deal. If you have a shit deal, the market's going to tell you have a shit deal and investors aren't going to be interested. If you have a good deal, you're going to get 3, 4, 5 responses, and then you can kind of pick the investor that fits your business the best. Awesome, Jeff. That's good to hear. Any other questions, guys, before I end it here? Hopefully that was helpful. Like I said, if you guys aren't on the Black Friday wait list, the link is below. that is going to be a one-day thing as far as that offer for one day. Hopefully that helps you guys out who are maybe, if you're trying to get into this business 2025, listening to some of these podcasts we've done recently. It's really cool success stories. If you guys have not already, hit the subscribe button below. Other than that, have a really good Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys next week, and take care.